Welcome to the last section of the Webisode series that involves teaching mathematics to intermediate learners. Now in this section we're going to be speaking on how fractions specifically can connect to other grades and other strands. As you can see, I've placed on the screen here a very rich resource in how fractions can be displayed across the strands. We will begin by looking at the grade 7 curriculum. As you can see, many of the different units that you may teach are on the screen above, and fractions can easily be incorporated into each of these strands. For example, the use of fractions in measurement. Students will need fractions when they're solving area problems without specific or ideal measurements. They will also need it for solving the perimeter of a fence. There's many real-world applications and connections that the children can make. I'm going to leave this screen up here just for a few more minutes. That way you can kind of peruse all of the examples for yourselves, how fractions can be integrated seamlessly into many of your other units. However, I will also provide the resource and the link in the corner if you need to further explore for a grade 7 curriculum. Now let's take a look at the grade 8 curriculum. In the grade 8 curriculum you can see many of the same applications. However, one quick application that I want to note that can further the understanding of fractions within a geometry and spatial sense unit. Students will be required to determine the difference between many of the shapes that we see in everyday life: triangles, cones, pyramids, spheres, and to be able to use fractions to actually delineate the differences between all of those different types of shapes serve as an excellent example to allow for connections across the grades and across the strands. Now the last slide that we'll be looking at helps to understand what students should have learned in previous grades and how they can develop and connect and continue to build those math connections from grade 7 all the way through to grade 10 as an intermediate learner. Again, I'm going to leave this page up for a few minutes, allow you to peruse and see how each of the grades connect vertically to one another, and that idea of fractions connects vertically as well from one grade through to the next, and how you can try and elaborate from the previous grade. But I will also provide that resource. That way you can take a look at any time if you do want to really get into how fractions can be incorporated throughout the grades. Now the last thing that I want to leave you with is a link to a video. It's a TEDx talk by a young teacher who teaches intermediate math to those learners who are usually not that enthusiastic about teaching math. I think it's a very inspiring TED talk, and it touches on the theory of problem-based learning and teaching children the correct way to understand mathematics, and gets teachers thinking about how to create mathematical thinkers that can connect to those higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy and eventually gather those big ideas all together. I want to thank you very much for taking part in this Webisode series. If you have any questions, make sure to comment below and I will take a look and try to respond in a timely manner. Thanks again.